So here's how this is going to go, all right? So I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I want to see a show of hands. How many fans of Purview here? How many of you are worried? There's all this talk about AI and agents. Your enterprises are going to start leaking out confidential data unintentionally. How many of you are worried that the sprawl of AI apps and agents is going to get so crazy that it's going to be very hard to manage? Oh, there's a lot of you. How many of you are worried that while people think about source systems like GitHub as a place where IP, source code is stored, but there's a lot of confidential information being stored in those systems as well? Well, if you raised your hand, you're at the right show. I mean, it's sort of become a cliche right now, but if you look at what's happening in this digital-first world, like security and governance, in some sense, is the baseline for trust. Like without that, really, there is no AI, there is no innovation. The other thing to realize is innovation based on AI is going to drive progress, and that's absolutely going to happen. Having a resilient infrastructure that's built on the foundation of security will drive a lot of transformation. Our promise to you, by the way, is not just to be a partner that protects your data, but we are essentially going to sort of build a system for you that is essentially going to make you use your data responsibly. 90% of the entire volume of data in the world was produced in the last 2 years. It is really because AI is producing a lot of data as well. Now, of course, a lot of that may be just rot, like it may not be useful. The scale, the volume is becoming so significant that having that understanding of like, what is this? Like, is it important or not? Becomes extremely, extremely critical. 73% of the data and AI leaders that we spoke to are investing in some sort of enterprise controls. 82% of them essentially want to understand how to leverage Gen AI as ways in which they can significantly improve their data security practice. And then 86% of them essentially are very worried that there is so many siloed tools that they have to use. This whole notion of like unified platforms that are bringing together, breaking down silos across a lot of practitioners is a real thing. 80% of the leaders expect to deploy agents in the next 12 to 18 months. 1.3 billion agents are essentially going to be deployed by 2028 across all the enterprises in the world. And about 75% of the people who already use AI are actually going to push the system with their enterprises to make this happen. So this whole problem around securing AI is not just theoretical. It's not some science fiction stuff in the future. It's happening right now. And Purview essentially has always taken a very integrated approach to data security, data governance, and data compliance. There's a lot of common elements, what we call the base platform layer, where you do discovery, you understand what your data estate looks like. That's sort of common. And that's essentially how we've built this product suite. With the AI growth, the collaboration across these functions is becoming extremely important. We're basically sort of anchoring and creating that in our experiences, that huge amount of collaboration between these functions by investing heavily by integrating through the Sentinel platform and the security copilot. The practitioners will be able to work a lot more seamlessly together. Look, security is a team sport. We've always spoken about that. We are investing heavily in expanding the coverage that we have through a very rich partner ecosystem. So let's see what's launching at Ignite. We're basically launching a set of very comprehensive reports within our data security posture management. So this is basically where you get a very deep understanding of what you have with M365. How many items have been labeled, how many of them are auto-labeled, and then of all the policies that you've set, which of them are not enforced, and you have like the single dashboard view where you can now double-click and understand, hey, why aren't they being enforced? Is there certain tweaking that needs to happen? Moving forward, two big things when you look at Agent 365. One's about manageability, so this is like the IT function, and the other thing is around security. And Purview has been very deeply involved with Agent 365 from the very beginning. If you look at Agent 365, one of the key principles we had was, while agents, like I called out, there's a whole new set of risks that come with agents. Can you carry forward a lot of the investments and the concepts that our customers understand, and can we reduce the burden? The other thing we've done with Agent 365 is invest heavily in AI observability. So in DSPM, you get a very, very comprehensive and deep understanding of all the agents that exist in your enterprise. And by the way, these are not just Microsoft's first-party agents that are, have an Entra ID, but literally any agents you may have built out on some other vendor's stack. How many of you sort of think Purview is just for M365? For the last 2 years, the team has done a fantastic job. And if you look at the coverage, how do those extend to protect everything in your data estate. Let's start with the M365 Copilot and Copilot chat. Now, Purview is adding another very interesting capability for inline protection, right? So imagine in the prompt, somebody sort of typed in a credit card number or anything that's considered PII information or confidential information. We are able to detect that inline and apply the DLP policies to sort of protect them. For developers, you got to really make it easy. You look at AI Foundry, you look at Copilot Studio. How do you basically get this value deeply integrated? Now you see in the Foundry control plane, we are already deeply integrated with Purview. Now moving on to data security and governance. The data security leaders, they want to use AI to get better. If you look at the data that we've sort of gotten, 36% of the alerts never get triaged. On an average, enterprises spend about $50,000 to actually go through and triage these per month. And it takes about 21 minutes of staff time to actually go through an alert. It's just going to become impossible for just human practitioners to get through this. Very excited to announce the GA of Data Security Triage Agent. So what does it do? It basically looks at the text and prioritizes the alerts for you and tells you, like, look, these are the 4 things of the hundreds that you have that you need to focus on. I spoke about the unified approach with Microsoft Sentinel. And this approach essentially has enabled us to have Purview protect all these surfaces, M365 devices, data estates, copilots, AI apps and agents, and third-party stacks. If you look at securing AI, it really boils down to securing your data. Hopefully you got a good sense of how deep we're going with protecting AI and expanding the investments that you've already made with Purview to sort of serve you a lot better so you can focus on doing the right thing for your customers.